Okay, it's 15th of April 2018. I'm at Site 1, Video 3. If you haven't watched the previous videos, then I suggest you go back to those first of all, because this one takes things to another dimension, and I think it will warrant watching the first two before you can actually appreciate what I'm trying to do in this video. Okay, so I spent a little bit of money quite recently on a collection of medieval coins. Now, when people say there's no evidence of Sasquatch being here in the UK or in Europe, then I'll point them straight back to these coins, which clearly prove that at that time it was readily accepted that these forest people were here. Hairy people with a human face, okay? And some of the antics that they get up to were shown in video 2, which I've now shown modern day equivalent. And I'm showing here a modern day equivalent of the activities that they are doing at this particular site, which is backing up what I've been saying all along, that we have them here in the UK. Now, something else I've been saying is along the lines of the woo. You know, everyone says everyone's crazy believing in the woo side of the Sasquatch. Well, I'm sorry, if you haven't got an open mind to actually make the connections as yet, and if you're still looking for the flesh and blood Sasquatch, particularly here in the UK, I think there is an element not clearly understood in the US and Canada and other parts of the world, that there is potential flesh and blood upright hominid type creatures. But certainly here in the UK and in the US, we have another dimension to these Sasquatch people. Okay, I've reported on it. I'm not the only one that's reported the woo side of things, but I'm certainly one of the few that has actually mentioned anything like that in the UK to date, because I've experienced things. Okay, what sort of things are associated with the woo? Okay, well, when you go out doing nighttime investigations and you get close to these forest people and they show themselves to you, you come across elements that you can't explain. Alright, one of those elements is orbs. Yeah, balls of light flying through the trees at night time. Yeah? Okay, right. How do you make the connection between that and the forest people? Well, because until you personally experience it, you cannot come to any other conclusion other than it is connected with the forest people, because of the activity that we get with the forest people is the same, at the same time, associated with the flying orbs. Now, you can call me crazy, delusional, I don't care, but I'm reporting on experiences, personal experiences that I have had. Now, me and my colleague, on one night earlier this year, we reported in our small group that we both saw in the region of 100, yes, 100 orbs, flying orbs that were around us. Within 100 feet to one, a very small one, like a fairy light, about 6 feet in front of me, just whizzing past. Alright, not very bright, but it was clearly there. Not my eyesight, because we go to the forest and we see maybe 1 or 2 orbs, but that night we saw over 100, and it's backed up by both me and my colleagues seeing exactly the same orbs flying through the trees at the same time. Okay, so what's this got to do with medieval coins? Right, well, I'm going to show you a coin. I paid quite a bit of money for this one, but I think it's absolutely well worth it, because if you don't believe in the woo, you're going to have to struggle with this particular coin. Now, can you see the Sasquatch person holding a tree branch that is uprooted? Oh, what's he holding in his right hand on the left hand side of the coin? What is he holding? Now, this is dated 1577, 200 years before America became the USA, or the Battle of the War of Independence. 200 years, right? So anyone that says there's no recordings of Bigfoot here in Europe, it's an American thing. Actually, here in my hand is absolute evidence to say the opposite of that. And that's a lesson there for Matt Moneymaker, who came here looking for Sasquatch and saying clearly there's no evidence for them being here. Well, is he an expert? Well, I'd say no. No, he's lost credibility on that score. So this coin here, 1577, this is 11 years before the Spanish Armada. Okay, that far back. So what's it holding in the right hand? If you look up real close, you'll see it's actually a candle. Let me see if I can get that. See, that shows it a bit better. Not ideal, but you can see it a bit better. So it's holding a candle. Now, candles are used at night, aren't they? In medieval times, did they have electric torches, battery powered torches? No, the only means of light they had were candles or torches. And I've seen some medieval coins that has the wild man holding a torch, a fire torch. But a lot of them, and this being one of them, you can see is holding a candle. Candles you use at night. So how would medieval people describe the things that they witness as an association with these forest people at night time? Well, here they've included them holding candles. So they've made the connection there with the lights in the forest and the wild man. Okay? So, isn't that significant? You know, practically 500 years ago, they made that connection. And yet, we are still having problems trying to make that connection here and now, despite people like myself telling you that we have actually witnessed these orbs in the forest at night time. This is how they felt best to record it, as these wild men carrying candles around the forest at night time. How amazing is that? 500 years ago. But there's no evidence of Sasquatch being here in Europe. Oh, well, I think if you've been thinking along those lines to date, then I think you're going to have to take a rain check on that one and think again. Have a bit more of an open mind about it. But here's modern evidence, and what I'm saying to you is backing that up by saying I have witnessed orbs in the forest associated with these Sasquatch people. Okay? I underline that again. I have seen multiple orbs in the forest at site 4 and 6 associated with these forest people. Okay, now where am I going to go with this now? I've backed up my claims as producing something to confirm the orbs in the forest. They were already thinking about this 500 years ago. The connection was there. But a lot of people now are having a hard time believing the people that have been saying about seeing orbs in the forest. I've seen that night was one of the most amazing nights I've ever had, and that was in the region of around 100 orbs at different heights, brightness and closeness, proximity to us. As I said, there was one just 6 feet in front of me by my feet. That is how close we are having interactions with these forest people. But it doesn't stop there. It goes way beyond that. And what I've reported elsewhere is it's going to get me a lot of abuse, but I'm telling you here and now, I'm reporting this with hand on heart, that I'm reporting something that is physically happening when I have interactions with these forest people. I have mind speak with them, right? I have mind speak with them. Can I go any further than that? I want to say more, but I know that it's only going to cause more trouble and aggro for me. So I have mind speak, okay? When I'm at home at night and I'm about to drift off to sleep, I get messages. I get messages about things that are happening on world affairs. Okay. When I've been in the forest, I've been touched by them in cloaked form. Okay. When we have been really close to them, we have seen them as I'm standing here, well, there, just literally I can hold my hand out and touch. That's how close we have seen them in visual form, but visual not like you understand or appreciate, but if you can imagine a heat haze, a sort of wavering, shimmering image, yeah, that is how they can show themselves to you in semi-cloaked form. They can be completely cloaked, but they can also be in this semi-cloaked form, and if they show themselves further, they go a smoky grey, shimmering type image. I've been that close to them, alright? A whole line of them. Me and my colleague saw them about a month ago. They were standing there in a line. There was about 10, 12 of them, up to 9 feet tall, standing there right in front of me. Okay? Now, you're probably thinking, yes, I'm crazy, but I'm not. I'm actually reporting on something that is actually happening. I'm having that close contact with them. Now, a lot of you are having big issues with Matthew Johnson. Likewise, I had my own issues with Matthew Johnson 3 years ago. But since then, I've gone down the route of doing away with all the technology, sending out messages to them in the forest telepathically. And since then, without the technology, we've seen a 9-footer in non-cloak form walk right in front of us. My mate was in tears. He wanted to switch the light on. I said no. So they got within it was about 10 to 12 feet. I think it was, no, within 20 feet. Within 20 feet. Let me see. Yeah, certainly within 20 feet. That was walking right in front of us, showing themselves in non-cloaked form. In cloaked form, they've been within 1 foot of me. They've touched me on the shoulders. I've seen red eyes. I've seen 2 glowing red eyes. I've seen white glowing red eyes. White glowing eyes at 9 feet tall. Now the juveniles have got the red glowing eyes. The taller ones have got the white glowing eyes. It takes a bit of getting used to. It freaks you out. When these things first happened to me, boy, I was questioning my own understanding about things. But since then, I've come around to understanding that Matthew Johnson is actually reporting the truth about these forest people. Okay? I'm going to get potential backlash for this, but I don't care, because I am reporting on the truth here. You don't have to believe me. In fact, if you don't believe me, I suggest you walk away, because I'm just relaying the actual truth in relation to these forest people. And yes, I do believe that they are the Zanu. Okay? Through my mind speak. It hasn't ended there. I've taken it to the next level, but I'm not going to report that here and now. Okay? That's for another day. But it's been a wonderful experience, and as I say, they are wonderful forest people. They are kind, caring souls, and they do care about the environment. You know, they're upset about how we are treating the planet. Now, I made a major mistake once a few times in my early days of trying to video them. They showed their disappointment. One, they pushed down a tree with me listening to it, and got that recorded. They've also kicked in a stump that I had recording equipment in. After I'd taken the recording equipment away, they kicked in that stump. I took some evidence that they were probably not best pleased about, and they killed my car. The electrics all failed. So there's a lesson out there for those people that are going down the disrespectful way of interacting with these forest people. Just be careful. If you upset them, there are side effects. Okay, so that's my warning to you. Okay, so basically this video was all about this. What a wonderful coin. You know, I spent a little bit of money on this, but this is my confirmation of the WOO from nearly 500 years ago. So prior to the Spanish Armada, there's a Sasquatch carrying a candle in the forest at night, but we know that isn't the case. But their interpretation of that was orbs in the forest, and that's what I've been reporting on for 2 years now. Okay, so on that note, I'll leave it here, but I'm going to do another video for those that want to have interactions with the forest people, and some pointers from my lessons. And if you want to go down that route of having interactions with them, then I would be very happy for you to do so. But there are going to be some conditional things that I need to bring your attention to. Okay, so call it over and out for now. And if you're going to come back to me with insults and things like that, then forget it. Just pretend you didn't see this video and just move on. I'm just reporting on what I believe is happening, understand is happening, witnessing what is happening, and I'm reporting on what's happening. You don't have to believe me, but I am telling you the truth. It's up to you what you do with it. If you haven't got an open mind, then you're not going to get very far in understanding who the Sasquatch people are, because boy, they are exceptionally intelligent and technologically advanced beings that live alongside us here in the UK. Okay, over and out.